Times now, it's back to the rhyme. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Plant, the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. I think I can do this. Hold on. This light bothers me. So if I want to practice looking up above, I got that. Pardon me. For a little something different, I had the chocolate in the mouth like chew. Used to play baseball, never chewed, but I always like to have, sunflower seeds. Kind of fun. Pretend I'm chewing without actually having to chew. Got the list. Oh, no, he did not. Well, I'm going to do this one by one. Like this. I'm going to try something different. Let's say this. One. School Us album sales is number one. I'm just going to go off the top of my head. I mean, I just went down. It's the trouble of going back and forth. Right? Haven't I said that? Yes, I have. That's the album. Didn't work this week, so didn't have a lot of opportunity to connect with my normal folks, but it's all right. But I've still consistently been promoting number two, which is YouTube channel. That's number two, YouTube channel. That is coming along. I don't know where to mention this. I got my man over there in Tunisia, Slim. I think it's like Aziz Slim or Salim or something. He's checking out No Hoke about every other day, more than every other day. I appreciate that, my friend. I got to maybe let you know about this YouTube channel. You can check me out if that's something else you like, or if it's just No Hoke you want, keep listening. So things are just steady. I've got this is my last week of promoting A Bet to Bread. And I'm going to move on to my next one, which is Battle Hymn of the Parents. I have another. I don't think it won't be ready before this, but it'll probably be my next thing. I don't know how I can do it. It's for the Goats greatest hits. In my mind, greatest hits, their top 10. It's kind of a niche, but they have good songs. And they're being slept on majorly, especially for a lot of people who should know about them but don't know about them. I'm going to try to raise awareness of the Goats. Yes, I am. That's my goal. So I have this weekend the opportunity to talk to a gentleman by the name of Jim Pereira. And maybe Jim will know someone connected with the Goats or the Goats Ministries. I saw there's Kurt Goat out there, but I didn't have his phone number is not active. So anyway, I could probably just post it on my YouTube channel, and that might not be the end of the world, but it'd be nice to make sure everyone's up to speed with what I'm doing, and there's no problems with that. But they're getting slept on majorly. I just have to say that, and I think it'll be a nice addition to my YouTube channel. I can't think of anything else at the moment. Like I said, I've been promoting that. As a result, because I've been promoting A Bet to Bread, people turn around and they see my Trump's Gonna Thump. So I'll just make that number 3. I'm not in a hurry to work on that copyright for the video. I had a whole week off and I didn't do a ton regarding music, but I still stayed steady with my Oh, sorry. I stayed steady with my promotion. So it's consistent. It's not major. It's consistent, though. Happy about that. Let's see. That was 3. Number 4, we can just say merch. All right. So I keep getting leads on merchandise. And that, of course, is this. Dibby de Hibby. She was feisty indeed. So, Best Cafe is going to close again. I was talking to the manager, Janelle, and some said, well, maybe I could swing by there tomorrow. Ooh, maybe I better do that. I think I better do that tomorrow morning. I better go by and say hi and try to get that info if I can. Because I won't see them. Well, they hang out the bar next door, a lot of the workers, but I'm off tomorrow. I'm just going to say hi. I'm not going to probably get an omelet. Maybe I should, but just to get down there and say, boy, they'd probably like me to do that, wouldn't they? I've had that route for 5 years, and Best Cafe's been on my route. Oh, I like to plan stuff. That's a hard one. That's going to take up my time. That's not a planning. If I can't sleep very well, I'll do it. That'll be my thing. Somehow, I'm already getting to bed a little late. I'm not going to go to Best Cafe unless I cannot sleep. They open at 7. There might be a major crowd too, which wouldn't be great. I think I'd better just, they might have a big crowd, but I still got to try to say hi. I'm going to just try to say hi and see how it goes. So that's my merch attempt. I talked to another person I know. She mentioned some T-shirt folks that I don't know where they're located, but they are indeed Christians. That'd be kind of cool. I just need their contact info so I can email her and follow up with her. That's merch. Number 5, rules of engagement. Nothing new to say except I was thinking about talking to Neil about the goads, but I suspect he would tell me, find out with their songs who owns the copyright and whatnot, which is what I'm attempting to do and get permission. This is actually good practice for me, because if I were to ever want to sample something, which I 100% want to do, you would need to contact the owner of the copyright. So this is kind of folks that are not so big. They would be considered independent label, something like that, very inactive, but they have music out there. And I'm just looking up. So I think this could be a good experience for me. I'm trying to recall what he told me in terms of, I think originally when I was going to make the Better Bread, he told me to just post it and then see what happens. But YouTube recognized it and shut it down. Now the goads, there would be no algorithm to shut down me posting it. The other thing I don't understand is, well, I suppose these YouTube creators or these channels, they must go and get permission, or they were early enough in the game to get those things posted, because how are they posting it? If there's a blocker in there that stops you from posting it, I don't know how that works, but yeah, it doesn't let my coworker know. It said that there's a blocker. You can't do it. You're going to have to repost what's already out there and just put it on a playlist. So that's how we ended up doing that. Number 6, my Reformation music video. And I heard back from Noah. Like I mentioned, I was off this week. So I didn't see him. He said he is sorry he hadn't got back to me. But when we worked together, it's going to be busy this week because of Labor Day. But later in the week, things will calm down, and I'm going to get a better sense of what's going on with that. I asked Mike to send me what he had done, but there's not a big deal because I originally sent him the work done by the videographers, and then he started editing it. So I just need to find those files and resend it probably to Noah. I sent him the sample that we have on YouTube. That was like 2/3 of the audio. It was like 3 minutes of a close to 5-minute song. We'll say at 60%. And I mentioned that the lips aren't moving with that's all messed up. But there's some nice basics in that slapped together by JE video that would be great for me. I think it looks super cool. We're just gonna have to tighten it up when the rap starts, that kind of. But in the instrumental portions, we have some good stuff there. So that's it for that. You will, let's see, 7. You will be glorified. And I don't know if I mentioned this. I have a coworker who I really like her voice, her speaking voice. And I said, do you sing? And she said, no, I got a husky voice. It's not. I'm like, that's perfect, for singing. A very rich, full voice, so it's really cool to me. I hear voices are something for me, not everybody, but for some people, for me, for sure. I'm like, let's see about what that would sound like someday. Because if I have, like, let's say a subject, meaning a singer, I could write for that singer because of my goal is to hear that person sing. And what would I want that person to sing? And so my brain goes to work. What do I want this person to sing, and what would I want as, so it's not impossible. It's quite doable. So I got my other coworker, Alex, who can do, so her Leia is her name. And then we got Alex. And so shall we make ballads? And of course, in the Philippines, those are so popular. She's from the Philippines. And so there's all these things I think about, but what would be the right direction? What could we even do? What's the market for that? Ballads aren't as popular as they were, but there still are people making them. They still break out even in the pop charts, but they're still, if they do break out, they're still usually done by established artists. Maybe in country, it's still usually going to take an established artist to have a ballad that you'll ever hear, most likely. So that's a consideration. I just want maybe we can get her on The Voice or something. I don't know. I don't think she's sung, or I don't even know. I just like it. It just kind of gets me pumped up. So that's that. I would think she could do this song too, sing it. I haven't asked if she's been to church or believes in the Lord or anything like that, but that's going to come up too, most likely soon. Next is, I thought I dealt with this and I did not. Next is 8. And now music. I hope I remember all of these. And now music. Not real progress there, but it's a consideration. What's number 9? Okay. Let me look through these again. So we got the album, YouTube channel, Trump's Gonna Thump, merch, rules of engagement, My Reformation music video, You Will Be Glorified, and now music. What am I missing? Uh-oh. Well, that's just going to get left off unless I think of it in the next 10 seconds. That's too bad. It must not be progressing very fast if I'm not remembering it. Boo. All right. Current events. Anything I want to share? It's still the same old, same old. So I hardly want to talk about it. I tried listening. I was with my brother in Spokane and got to ride with him. Got to hear some political radio. It's been a long time. They got this stuff in Afghanistan. I just think the whole thing's stupid. I mean, if I don't even hardly want to think about it. Yeah, I know people's sons are dying unnecessarily. I know uh, wins that were gained are being given back, and nothing makes any sense, right? So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of nothing. So I don't like to even think about it or talk about it. But I know it gets talked about on political radio. So I got nothing to say about it. I'm gonna get back to the rhymes because it's just the point is, like I said, I'm just turned off with everything. I need to have some sense that the next election is going to have some meaning. It's not going to be a waste. So now this song I am excited about. All right, so here's what I have. Let me jot down I decided I want to do something a little different, which is good. So, I haven't come up with a title, but I might do that here in a moment. So here's the beginning. It ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. The rolling hills up ahead. I might have to say it different. Hold on. Ain't enough to get me over. It's enough to keep me going. Rolling hills up ahead, up and down. It's how I'm growing. Okay, so let me get rid of that. Ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. Rolling hills up ahead and up and down. It's how I'm growing. In these times, I keep in mind the gifts and talents I've been given. Though not clear, I use my ear. Though not clear, I use my ear to make moves and make a living. So I'm rhyming on the opposite. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, let me try it again. This is a real challenge, but that's good. It's a real challenge. And, it's going to be one of those songs where I'd have to practice a lot. And enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. Ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. Rolling hills up ahead and up and down is how I'm growing. In these times, I keep in mind the gifts and talents I've been given, though not clear. See, I got to smooth that out. Though not clear, I use my ear to help make moves and make a living. Ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. Rolling hills up ahead and up and down is how I'm growing. In these times, I keep in mind boy, that's hard. You see how hard? You can't make mistakes. It ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. Rolling hills up ahead, up and down is how I'm growing. In these times, keep in mind the gifts and talents I've been given, though not clear. I use my ear to help make moves and make a living. So what I want to do here, first of all, I'm going to call it. It's too long to say it ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. I could call it enough to keep me going. So I'm going to call it that. Got a good pen today. I'm in my good location. All right, so what I had in mind, and I can't remember the exact rhyme. I thought I was going to repeat that. Ain't enough to get me over. It's enough to keep me going. Just kind of burn through it. To help make moves and make a living. It ain't enough to get me over. It's enough to keep. It's just. It's like it's not a second verse. It'd be in the first 16, right? They're not enough to keep me over, but it's still enough to keep me going. Still enough to keep it going. And I made this too small. I'm going to be writing small. It's going to be hard to read. What a shame. The love I feel is for real. See, some of this is kind of projection, projection like you say what you want the reaction to be. You speak what you want. We could say that's psychology, but it I do get good feedback, 100%. But the feedback isn't like, oh man, you gotta check this guy out. And it just goes. That's not happening. But it's solid respect. So that's why it's in that middle area. It's not, oh, you're horrible. You just give up. Everyone's just not interested. It's not like that at all. It's not like, hey, man, we're just trying to keep this guy happy, tell him what he wants to hear. But it's not, wow. I'm not saying that couldn't happen. A lot of these people make songs forever and then they break out. All right. But not enough to keep me over, still enough to keep me going. The love I feel is for real. That's for sure that I'm knowing. That's worth my time. And these dimes. I'm not gonna say the other version of what that means. That's worth my time and these dimes. Ain't for nothing. And it's showing. And appreciation. For that love. My commitments to keep it. My commitments. I commit to keep it rolling. Like I said, we got my man in Tunisia, checking out No Hope. You know, is there 1,000 guys like that dude in this whole world? Were they to hear No Hope, they'd want to, that's the kind of thing you don't have a good answer to. Why is one guy in Tunisia like that song so much that he play it? He likes it more than me, right? Well, so I can't imagine listening to it every other day. I get it. But that's what blows my mind. There's no way to understand some of these things. All right, so here's my first verse. Let's see how well I can execute it. All right. And then my hook is not a hook, it's a beat break. It ain't enough to get me over, it's enough to keep me going, rolling hills up ahead, up and down is how I'm growing. In these times I keep in mind the gifts and talents I've been given. Though not clear, I use my ear to help make moves and make a living. Man, it's hard. Though not enough to get me over, it's still enough to keep me going. The love I feel is for real though. That's for showing that I'm knowing that it's worth my time. And these times that ain't for nothing, and it's showing an appreciation for the love, and I commit to keep it rolling. Wow. And that's going to be a fast song too. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, how long would that even take? And I might have to rewrite this very clear so I can read it. Let me try one more time. Ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me going. Rolling hills up ahead and up and down is how I'm growing. In these times I keep in mind the gifts and talents I've been given. Though not clear, I use my ear to help my moves and make a living. It's such poor writing. I can't read it. Let me try again. Ain't enough to get me over, but it's enough to keep me. Man. Ain't enough to get me over, it's enough to keep. I'm going to get rid of but. Ain't enough. And I can get rid of it. Ain't enough to get me over, it's enough to keep me going. Rolling hills up ahead, up and down is how I'm growing. In these times I keep in mind the gifts and talents I've been given. Though not clear, I use my ear to make these moves and make a living. Though not enough to get me over, still enough to keep me going. The love I feel is for real though. That's for showing that I'm knowing that it's worth my time. In these times ain't for nothing, and it's showing an appreciation for the love, and I commit to keep it rolling. That sounds a little old school too, right? But oh well. I can have a little old school sound. But trying to have that tempo, my goodness. All right, so I still got 2 more minutes. So I can very easily write out the numbers 1 through 16. Because as fast as this song's going to be, there's going to have to be 3 verses just to have some length in the song. And then, like I said, beat, break, scratch, something, I could say that's enough. It's enough, something like that. Talk a little bit. It's enough. No, I can just say it like that. It's enough. Oh, it's enough. I'll just call that my hook. It's enough. Oh, it's enough. Oh, it's enough. That's right. Yeah, I'm not gonna. What's not enough is the amount of time I have to continue much. But I'm gonna just keep doing some busy work. That's verse 1. Now we have verse 2. Enough to keep me going is the name. And I go 1, 2. I thought I wasn't going to do that, but I found out I need to. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that's it. See y'all next time. Tons of fun.